if you're like me and you have a goldfish brain, which means you sometimes have trouble remembering to do things on certain days, I'm going to show you some very, very simple methods for just remembering to do those kind of everyday things. So this is kind of that category in between, like maybe just a household chore and a structured meeting. So it's not going to be on your like daily to-do list necessarily, or maybe you forgot to put it there. But it's also not going to be on your calendar because it's not an official event. So, it could be something like getting a household appliance delivered, canceling a subscription to something. It could be, I don't know, maybe even a task like paying your HOA fee. Like I have to pay mine quarterly, and I find that I always forget because that's a weird time. It's not monthly. And anyway, so if you're like me and you forget some of these things, these are going to be some methods you can work with. So we're going to start in the daily note, as I often do. And I think just using the daily note format is probably the easiest thing you can do here, because I kind of treat it like my calendar that I can put anything in. So to use the example of the appliance, if I'm getting my dishwasher delivered on Friday, July 6th, I can say getting dishwasher delivered, and maybe there's like a time window. I can say between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. Whoops. And then when I kind of come to my day on Friday, I know that's there. And, you might also choose to put this in your calendar as like an all-day event, or if you have a specific time, you can block it off. But to be honest, for a lot of these things that just don't interfere with my normal calendar. So like for this one, if I'm working from home, it's getting delivered. I don't want to necessarily block my calendar off for those 2 hours. I just can stay here working at home. But I want to be aware that I need to be home. So I would just put it on the daily note there. Now, you could get a little bit more fancy with this, which I'll show you in a second, but you can really do this far out into the future. So a couple days from now might not make, a huge difference, but maybe if it's like if I have my HOA fee due, so maybe let's say that's going to be on like September 1st. What I will do is I will go in and say September 1st. Okay, that's a Sunday. Sometimes I actually don't look at my daily notes on the weekend if I'm out camping or something. So I'm going to go back to Friday the 30th of August, and then I can put in here, pay quarterly HOA fee. Now, I'm just kind of writing these as bullet lists. So if you're using a different tool, even like a notebook or something, or like an agenda book, I don't know what they call them, planners, that has like a new page for each day. You could just flip forward and write this. Now, if you're using something like Reflect, you can also add these as tasks. So let me delete this out of here. And actually, let me go back and delete this one out of here too. We're going to do a different format. So both of these things, actually, the dishwasher and the HOA, refer to my house. So maybe I have a note labeled house maintenance. Ooh, did not spell that right. And then on here, I can put these things. So I can say I need to pay, that'd be Q3. I'm not doing the dates right, but I'll say Q3 HOA fee. And then I can say have a dishwasher delivery on, and I can say this Friday. And notice how that automatically puts the date in there. And then, since it's on this note here, I don't want to have to remember to come back and look at this note. So what I could do is turn these both into tasks. And what that will do is that means when I go to my tasks tab here, I can now see these on the page. And so for house maintenance, I didn't put a date on this one, so I just kind of will see that floating there under this label. But I did put a date under the dishwasher delivery, so that will now show up in upcoming. And I could have also done that for the record on my daily note. Like I could have come down here to Friday and put it here. But what's nice about doing it from what I call like a project note like that, where you just kind of collect things, is that it comes up in the incoming backlinks here. And then I can also, select it off from there. So that is another great way to kind of carry through these things that, again, might not be like a work task for a day. It might be like just a general project or something. So, to give an idea of what I would actually use this for is if I kind of go back to that note, my house maintenance note, and in my world, this would actually be called Airbnb prep, because I'm preparing our house to rent out for the first time, probably in like a year, and there's a lot of things that I have to do. So You know, I could just start listing things in here. I'll just list a couple. I can say wipe down kitchen cabinets and counters because I cover them in a lot of grease when I cook and the people don't want to see that. I can say clean out propane fireplaces and grills in the backyard, and let me maybe do one more. I need to replace our smart lock. And then what I can do, so these are already tasks, so I have these here. But then maybe as I want to tick them off, so I'm a couple of weeks from leaving, but maybe it's like replacing smart locks, that sounds like it could be a faff. And so if I want to go into here, I could then add a date to it. So maybe I could say 1 week from now. I don't know. And that will be the 31st. And then that will show up as upcoming, and I can kind of schedule them that way. So these are my favorite ways to kind of keep track of things and just to make sure that I don't forget them. And by the way, if you just want to capture these really quickly on the go, I think that is a place where a lot of people kind of miss this on the workflow or forget things. That's probably true for me. Now it's like I have my capture mechanism, so I just need to remember to capture it. Obviously, having it on the mobile, your notes on the mobile app is really, really simple for that. Using voice recordings for this, you can just record the reminder really quickly and then come back and edit it however you want later. So very, very simple method, but I promise this helps and you will no longer forget the days that you need to do certain things.